Stossel Matter segment tonight. Bitter reaction from the left over the Supreme Court ruling that some corporations with strong religious beliefs, small ones, do not have to fund some methods of birth control like the morning after pill.
The corporations, employers, can impose their religious beliefs on their employees, and of course, denying women the right to contraception as part of their health care plan is exactly that.
And the Supreme Court is simply wrong to honor gender bigotry that Hobby Lobby stores and Conestoga Wood are promoting. That's just wrong. It's bigotry to keep women away from having basic health care.
The context of this is an all-out assault on access to contraception and to other reproductive health care services.
Wow, that sounds bad, doesn't it? That sounds bad. The government harming women, denying them access to birth control. But Stossel says it's all bull. The war on women business, total fabrication. He joins us now. How do you back that up?
Because no one is talking about taking away anybody's access.
Then why does Hillary Clinton say they are?
Because she's spinning it in a way she thinks that it will work for her, this war on women. But they still have to pay for regular birth control. And yes, in some cases, an exception for this morning after pill, which some of the religious people consider murder. How wrong is it to force them to pay for that?
Right.
But even if all this stuff was banned, buy it yourself. It's $10 a month for this. This is $35. It's not saying women can't have it. It's just saying other people shouldn't be forced to buy it for you.
Then if everybody knows that, and what you said is absolutely true, how did politicians like Mrs. Clinton and the head of Now and the other person get away with saying this when then people run around and parrot it? How? Are we the people so dumb now that we will accept any kind of propaganda? Is that where we are in the world?
Some of the people will accept any propaganda,
Anything.
and they are so hell-bent on seeing oppressors of women that they believe it.
Okay. Now, the press has certainly bought into that. Front page in the New York Times, Newsday, contraception denied.
Right.
Yeah. And totally out of context. So they, combined with the politicians on the left, forge this fabrication that women are being punished by the Supreme Court and the United States.
Right. And people who should know better. Harry Reid. It's time 5 men of the Supreme Court stop deciding what happens to women.
Yeah, I think Harry would execute them, right? Is that what he wants? It's time they stop.
Women
They
decide
stop.
what happens to women. And if you can't afford this, Planned Parenthood will give it to you free if you're poor.
Right.
And John Kerry and his wife, by themselves, could pay for every poor woman's morning
in America,
after
the whole
pill
country,
and have $100 million left over.
Well, why don't we ask the Kerrys to do that?
Here I am. I'm asking. You know, you're so upset by this. Actually, I haven't heard what he said, but he's the richest one. Well, you pay for it.
Yeah, okay. So you would say that this whole thing borders on absurd, the whole argument?
It's the totalitarian left that unless somebody else pays for your health care, you're not getting it.
Okay, so I actually agree with Stossel on this. It has been pumped up. Gender bigotry, that's new, right?
That's a new
That's a good one,
phrase.
though, isn't it? Gender bigotry.
Does that probably
cut both ways?
Work.
Does it cut both ways to men, too? Because male, that's a gender, right? So is it gender bigotry towards Stossel and myself? Is that possible?
How about the fact that we die 6 years sooner?
That's bigotry.
Unfair.
That's unfair. And if Kerry would give us his money, that would stop. Now, you as a libertarian were outraged by the Supreme Court's ruling for another reason.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to prove your religious beliefs if you're running a company to say, I don't want to pay for that. No one's forced to work for that company. You ought to be able to just say, it's my company, here are my rules. We don't pay for people's food, clothing, and shelter. Why do we pay for their health care? Or why must I pay for this part of their health care if I don't agree with it?
So if Stossel forms a company, doesn't want to pay anybody's health care, you should be allowed to do that, and then maybe nobody would work for you. They'd go to work for somebody else who did pay their health care.
Right. Or if I want to hire only tall people or stupid people, or it should be my choice. I started the company.
All right. But what if you are then saying I'm not going to hire black people or certain minority people? Then you're certainly violating the Constitution by doing that.
And violating the civil rights laws.
Right.
But
you don't want to do it
that would so tear at the social fabric that it's reasonable to.
But I think now I would say it's a civil right to have the government pay for your birth control. That's
But a right is when the government leaves you alone. Free speech, right to practice your religion. A right to get stuff from other people that somebody else has to pay, that's very different.
All right. John Stossel, everybody, practicing gender bigotry right before our eyes.